Welcome everybody back to boostinmotion, guys, and today this video is going to be saving you guys some money because I surely haven't saved my money. Guys, hit that intro. Welcome everybody back to boostinmotion, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you. So number one, guys, will be muffler deletes and AXLEBACKs. Now, from my own experience, I'm only telling you from what I experienced, all right? So I started off with a STILLEN AXLEBACK, a used one in 2018. I ended up reselling it because I really didn't care for noise that much. Understand, guys, if you want to get an exhaust, the noise is one of the most important things. You're going to get performance regardless of whatever CATBACK exhaust you get. It's just that you have to choose a noise that you can live with, from drone to raspiness. Look on YouTube for those different noises. Anyways, I ended up getting a STILLEN AXLEBACK used, had on the car for a little while, then I ended up reselling it for right around the same money. Then in 2019, I got a Rev9 AXLEBACK, which is a TUNING style AXLEBACK, which is pretty much the cheapest on the market, and I ended up keeping it on the car for like 6 months and reselling it. Here's the thing, guys, I realized that I'm just not a noise guy anymore. Like, I actually like to be quiet fast. A lot of you guys like to be loud, and that's fine. Like, I used to be the same way. So my recommendation is, if you know you care for noise, just save up the extra money and get a proper CATBACK exhaust. No matter the brand, just go get it, because it's going to give you the noise you want, and you'll end up not having to spend extra money, because most of you guys are going to end up buying the AXLEBACK and lower down pipes or test pipes, depending on the motor you have, and you're going to say, damn, I need to get a YPIPE and a MIDPIPE, and you're not going to really know what options to get, because you're going to have to buy a whole new CATBACK exhaust system, or you could buy the Rev9 YPIPE and MIDPIPE combo, or the TUNING style, which is even double the price. So guys, save your money, save your coins, save the proper CATBACK system if you care about sound. Number two, what I would say is, I ended up buying cheap suspension components. My second would be control arms. Now, there's different control arms on the market. You have from Godspeed, which is a more cheaper brand, then like Kinetics, SPL, SPC, and a few other more expensive ones. I went the Godspeed ones because it was the most affordable. Those CAMBER arms are almost $200 just for CAMBER arms, and I'm like, that's a lot of money. So I went with them, and I had it on the car for about a year. Here's what happened. I started getting a knocking noise in the front end, but I didn't really notice it unless I'm taking off aggressively hard. You hear like doof. I didn't really care for it because I had an exhaust. So sometimes you don't hear a lot of things when you have a loud exhaust. This is one of the things that happen the most. But anyways, long story short, this is when I started blowing axles. And I just didn't understand it, because I'm like, okay, I got so much power, my axles are popping out. Yay, right? But long story short, I ended up replacing the axle about 4 to 5 times before I found out that the control arm was blown. It was moving back and forth this much. And that was definitely throwing off my whole wheel entire assembly and allowing my axle to pop out. And also on top of that, I kind of messed up my engine mounts. That's why that attributed to that. But still, I ended up having to throw away those control arms because the bushings were just pretty much bad, and I wasted $200 and a bunch of axles when I could have just spent the extra money and got SPL or even SPC or even Kinetics. I had a Kinetics before. They use like a polyurethane bushings, which are pretty good. Like, they use high quality bushings. So I could have went with those and probably never would have had that issue. So I ended up spending probably hundreds of dollars more than I really needed to, even though there was another issue, the underlying issue from the engine mounts. But still, I could have saved so much money if I would have just spent another $100 or $150 over the Godspeed control arm. So my recommendation is, don't cheap out on control arms, because they're going to go through a lot of torque, and in the long run, you're going to have to end up changing them to a better brand of control arms. Now that moves on to number 3. Now, when you lower your car, you're going to end up wanting to, start throwing off your stabilizer links. This part is going to be really short. So I didn't want to buy the SPL lower control arm end links. Reason being is they're solid, they're not polyurethane or anything like that, and they were expensive. It's almost $200 just for a pair of links. So I ended up finding Japan eBay style adjustable links from Japan that I actually use on GTRs. And I went with that for like the last, I think, 9 months. Long story short, I kept on getting this clicking noise on the front end of my car. Now, I thought it was maybe the BC Racing coilover. So I started changing the rubber mount, pillar mount bushings. I ended up changing the strut, the spring insulators. I started, I even disconnected the front sway bar. And I even bought a whole new lower control arm, well, used new. And long story short, guess what happened? It was the link. The link went bad through all the driving that I went through. So I ended up putting the OEMs back on and the noise went away. So I spent another maybe $250 and I would say countless wrench time just trying to find that noise and or replacing it. So and I even bought a whole new set of top control arms for that too. So yes, guys, I thought it was the lower ball joint, the top ball joint, all these other suspension components. Long story short, it was a $30 sway bar link. Tell me about it. So guys, if you want to start modifying this type of cars, you want to get into cyber things, there's a reason why those parts are more expensive. Now let's move on to number 4, and that will be aesthetics. Now hear me out. This is such as front lips, rear diffuser, stuff like that. Now I've had aesthetics on my old car and on my new car, and what I realized is that there's different brands and different materials. You do have the eBay brand. I think it's completely fine for you guys to purchase the eBay brand. But when it comes to the material, my recommendation is look for PU material and or PP material. Reason being is these flex a lot better and they still can crack, but not as cheap as the ABS material. So I recommend these two materials. It's just a lot more durable. 2, when you fasten them to the car, make sure that you use nuts and bolts or maybe even rivets. What's going to happen is if you use regular screws and stuff like that or 3M tape, they will fall off, they will fly off. It's just too much air pressure at the front of the car for it to stick on with just 3M tape. And if you think that's going to stick on with excuse me guys, and if you think it's going to stick on with stay on with regular screws, after a while it will come out. So my recommendation is to drill small pilot holes and use nuts and bolts and or locking washers. That's one of the best things that you guys can save your money on your affordable parts. This is even if you have carbon fiber lips or even or 3-piece lips. Even in the 3-piece lips categories, guys, if it is a PU material, still get it, but I would still recommend getting a 1-piece front lip, because it's just better, looks better, and over time, if something breaks, you don't have to sit there and live with one broken piece and 2 other good pieces. You can go with just one solid piece that goes straight across with nut and bolts and locking washers. So finally, let's move on to this part. You guys are not gonna believe it, and you guys are gonna probably make fun of me, so please don't. All right, I gotta say it would be the JB4. Now I'm divided on this because I gotta say that the JB4 was one of the best modifications to my car because it gives you the quickest amount of boost. And if you sit there and you take your time and want to learn about the different data logs on the JB4, you get to learn so much about how a car runs and what is pretty much normal. So that when you get a tuner, an actual tuning, move into like an ECU tech or a tune-in, you look at that graph, you can understand what this mother effer is doing to your car, so that you're like, hey, listen, this looks bad or this looks wrong. So I believe that a JB4 is one of the best tools on the market for any car that is boosted, that's come forward, because it's a quick way to understand the logs without having to send it to a tuner itself. But what I will say that when it first came out, this was like my first modification, spending about $600. And later on, about a year, almost 2 years later, I ended up getting a full-fledged tune, which is fine. I did it for the channel, I did it for the car. I just wanted to come from fast to faster. I think that was perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, for you guys, some of you guys, if you know that you want to get a full-fledged tune, you want to get the most out of your car, that you don't want to just take small little steps, you just want to jump right for it, I would recommend just getting a full-fledged tune out the gate. So this saves you $600 or $700 that you may spend on a JB4, just to have to end up reselling it for another $400 or $500. What's the purpose of even doing that, you know? I always tell you guys, I want you guys to save money. I always want you guys to save money if you can. All right, now here's a quick bonus. Right, you guys may not like this bonus, but here's my quick bonus, right? This is so you guys literally can save the most amount of money possible, or you don't cry twice. In a way, with all these modifications on all the cars on the market, right? There's always a cheap brand and there's always a more affordable brand. Sometimes the cheap brand is cheap because the material that they use, the construction, and long story short, they may not be as reliable. But what I would say is this: when it comes to certain components that deal with the exhaust, maybe an intake, and even wheels, at the end of the day, majority of them are still going to get the job done properly. People don't like cheap wheels because they said, oh my God, you hit a pothole in a roll and they explode. No, what actually happens is you went and put on super thin tires on a 20-inch by 11 wheel, and you're driving on a crappy road thinking that it won't break. It will. Even good wheels break. You know, when you want to sit there and you move forward and think about, let's say, one of the biggest things in the market is, oh, what's test pipes or lower downpipes should I get for my car boost? I always sit there and tell you guys, no test pipe is going to really give you more power than the next. So at that point, you're just buying the brand. At the end of the day, just try to look at into the construction of it and see if there's any reviews where it's crappy. That's it. And the same thing applies to lower downpipes. People always sit there and say, are moving lower downpipes reliable? You know, they're just kind of cheap. And I said, well, I've had them on a car for about a year and a half, but there are more expensive brands out there. But I just want you to know, the more expensive brand isn't going to yield any extra performance, any other safeguards other than you just spending more money. That's it. And some people like to do that, and that's perfectly fine. And anything else that you want to purchase from your car, from Michelin's to BARUM Bavaria's tires. I've had my tires for almost 20,000 miles. I only end up replacing one because it has 2 punctures and a bit camber wear on it, but I also bought a 5th one for use from eBay for like $50. And I bought this back in like 2018, 2017. I forgot what it is. I think it's 2018, about 25,000 miles ago. And these tires have great mileage. And I went to go look at these tires right now, and guess what? These tires are almost $700 for a set. I bought them on eBay brand new. These are brand new, not from a used person. This was from a manufacturer for about $400, because guess what? They didn't even know what the price of these tires were really gonna be. But now these tires are way more expensive, and they seem like they're doing really good in the price margin. So I bought pretty much $600-700 tires for like $300-400 back from 2 years ago. It's surprising how things change, right? So otherwise than that, guys, I want you guys to try to save the best amount of money you can. I want you to make the most crucial decisions that you can. And most of you guys always sit there and say this to me when you hit me up at boostinmotion IG and boostinmotion Facebook and boostinmotion@gmail.com. You guys will say you're so thankful for having someone in the platform that is so informative. I just want you guys to know I'm not the only one out there with informative information. I'm just one of the guys out there with a platform that can show you things. So definitely look into Fox Craze, look at Speed Culture Studios, look at my boy Enthusiast POV, even Double R, a few other people. They just might be making media content that might not be putting information out there. But I recommend you guys looking into other Q50, Q60, Infiniti, Nissan enthusiasts out there. They're definitely on YouTube. Just look them up, put up the car up, and just see who comes up, who books a common amount of videos. I want this platform to get big, and I don't only mean the platform of Q50s. I mean the platform of Nissan and Infiniti. We're gonna need to take over the world on YouTube for Nissan and Infinitis, man. We gotta put them back on the map, because everybody else loving other fast supercharged V8 cars out there. Love those Mopars. But at the end of the day, I believe the car is big enough more than Mopars. So much love and respect to everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for enjoying my content. So if you want to contact me, I already told you where to contact me at. I have a Teespring account below to different t-shirts I'm coming out with. Also, some novelty t-shirts that says dig races only, period, chases a race, make them sell it. I'm gonna come out with a 4th one that's probably gonna say send it. Also on top of that, you guys ask me all the time, maybe you guys don't are watching, but a few guys, hey Boost, like, do you have a Cash App? I want to donate to the channel. I want to donate to you, bro. Like, you help us out so much. You drop $5-10 on me and say, hey, here's some Popeyes, here's some gas money, here's a shot. So check out my Cash App at #boostinmotion. But otherwise than that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night. Appreciate it. Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost in Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you.